What up, y'all? I'm back with another review, and I'm here to review the newest studio album from Clipping entitled Visions of Bodies Being Burned. Visions of Bodies Being Burned. It's just fitting that uh, I'm reviewing this on Halloween. Happy Halloween, by the way. Um, Visions of Bodies Being Burned. Ghetto Boys. Mind playing tricks on me, right? Definitely, it's got to be a reference to that. Um, And of course, Bushwick Bill in his verse, he talked about how this year Halloween fell on a weekend, me and Ghetto Boys are trick or treating. So it's just fitting that um, I get this review out on Halloween. Um, it's a follow up, of course, to if you look at the cover, which I believe those have to be teeth. Some of them look like they are decayed or might have they're cavities. Um, uh, it's a follow up, though, of course, to There Existed an Addiction to Blood, which was at the end of last year, it was in my top 3 favorite albums of 2019. But going by since then, which albums I've been streaming the most, they were in my top 3 between uh, There Exists an Addiction to Blood, Quelly Chris's Guns, and A$AP Rock and Tobacco's Malibu Ken. Uh, Now it's like probably my favorite from that year. It's just at that time, it was number 2. Guns was 3rd. First was Malibu Ken. That's where it was second at the end of the year, but it's number 1 looking back now. So Visions of Bodies Being Burned, the 4th studio album from Clipping. Let's go ahead and get right into this. The first track, the intro, it really, the more it progresses, the better it gets. Actually, hold on, because I didn't talk about every track. I might have missed like just one track, and I think it was an interlude anyway. Next track, Say the Name. Candlesticks in the Dark, Visions of Bodies Being Burned. That's the hook. And my favorite part of the song is after verse 3 when the beat gets like weird and crazy, and it manages to progress into like a real smooth, off kilter groove beat. It's ironic to say that it's off kilter, but it's still smooth. But it doesn't mean it can't be pulled off. I mean, if you have, of course, the ear for alternative music, then you've heard some off kilter stuff anyway, and it still manages to have a groove to it, whether it's uh, specifically groove music or not. I did not talk about the Witchboard interlude. It's just what you'd imagine with the Witchboard. It's 30 seconds anyway. It was 2 girls, I remember. The next track, 96. I hope I'm saying this right. 96, Neve Campbell, featuring Cam and China. It's a clipping track, of course, but it really just feels like it's Cam and China's track. It's not even that it feels like it's their track, but more so they at least feel like they're properly featured, if that makes sense. Like it really feels like a feature. I mean, of course, a feature is a feature, but this really does feel like it's a feature. Like they're shining. They take their opportunity. They capitalize on it, but it does still feel like a clipping track, even though you get more of Cam and China. They're just some bad boss bitches, and that's I'm not. That's just they're pretty much saying about themselves. I'm not saying that they're bitches. They're saying that like this bitch boss, this bitch bad. They're saying that. Well, not the bad part, but yeah, they're some badass boss bitches. Track number 4 is Something Underneath. David's flow here reminds me of Blood of the Fang, which was one of my favorites, if not my favorite track of or off There Existed. That was one of my like top 7 favorite songs of last year. Track number 5, Make Them Dead. A very glitchy, noisy, industrial track, which is Clipping's. It's per usual for Clipping. The very drawn out, like gong, like dead chant in the chorus is just so. It's chilling. It's cold. And I fuck with how the track manages to somehow have an eerie silence to it while all the noise is present on it. And at times it sounds like radio distortion. Um, what is this? Dead. Walk forward with eyes closed. Don't them say they believe us. dead. And they bought their Bibles. Do they dare deceive us? Or dare deceive? Make them dead. Step up to the cliff so they can count the blessed dead. Only the wicked men fall to their death, so make them. Next track, She Bad. It's not as eerie as in sound as Run for Your Life featuring LeChat was last year, but it does depict a woman who will come for you, like it did, well, like she did last year with LeChat in the story last year. Next track, Invocation. The instrumental honestly sounds like a broken sonar, if I'm being honest. Uh, and this was just an interlude, but this felt like it added more. It was a minute and 13 seconds featuring Greg Stewart, but uh, it just contributed more to the song than the previous interlude. But the other one did too, because it reminds me of that woman who went to a doctor in There Existed, where she talked about how she's having these bad dreams and she's hearing noises in this apartment, I think it was, that she moved into, and how these things that she didn't even have. And but Invocation just added more. That interlude added more to me than Witchboard did. Now the next track, actually hold on, because there are two. I had to type up two for this. I might actually do a written review too and put it on OKThough.com. The next track, Check the Lock. It has a smooth groove to it as well. Talking about how the hood used to check for him when he pulled up flexing. Now he check under the hood before he start the engine. And he talked about having like a bag of little yellow pills for his nerves but it makes it worse when the Xannies don't work. This dude who this guy is in the hood is just experiencing paranoia, and he checks the lock every time he walks by the door. Now the next track, I hope I got this right. Yeah, it is. Yeah, because at first I was like, is that who I think it is? But it is Horror. HO9909. Looking Like Me featuring Horror, or HO9909. Just heavy bass and sequences is what I have to say about this track. It's just dirty. It's filthy, which is what I expect from clipping, but especially what I expect from Horror as well. Next track, Drove Interlude. This one contributed more than Witchboard to me as well. It sounds like an Animal Farm with the animals just crying for help, and or maybe even these tortured souls just roaming in a confined area, which is perfect for an album like this. And I could be wrong. Maybe it's not animals. Maybe it's not these tortured souls and these ghouls. Maybe it's something else. But that's just what it sounded like to me. If I'm wrong and it's something else, I'm sure if I find out that I'm wrong and it's another sound that they were going for, or it's actually literally something else, I'm sure it'll still be fitting with the album, what they were going for, because what came out fits. Now, Eating Alive featuring Jeff Parker, who dropped an album earlier this year, jazz artist Jeff Parker, which I still need to check out. I'm getting closer. I'm going down the list, not even slowly now. Now I'm getting pretty fast with it. Like I'll get to those jazz albums that I haven't heard this year yet. And Ted Burns, who I'm not familiar with. Jeff Parker and Ted Burns reminds me of He Dead from last year at times from There Existed. The track starts to have more life a little after the halfway mark of this almost 6-minute track. And it spends the last 2 minutes as this all over the place, fun, like a noise magnet, if I'm being honest. Like, it just invites all the instruments to contribute. Not all instruments, but just every instrument that was used in the creation of this track. It's like they all come together at the same time. Like, we're all going to start making noise, start making sounds and beautiful abstract alternative music right now. Like, all the instruments were just invited to contribute at the same time for those last 2 minutes. And the next track, Body for the Pile. I got this from Genius. Body for the Pile is the first song in Adult Swim's 2016 Noise compilation, which has been re-released in Clipping's new and fifth studio album, Visions of Bodies Being Burned. Oh, so it's the fifth. So it's the fifth studio album? thought it was the fourth, because I know there was Splendor and Misery, which was my first one, and Clipping, which was, of course, I didn't hear. I mean, I've heard, but it wasn't my first. Clipping, Splendor and Misery was. So it's the fourth or fifth album. Okay, uh, pretty sure it's the fourth though. But yeah, it's visions of bodies being buried. It's a story of three cops being murdered, which, given the year the 2020's been, uh, fitting for the year. It's like when Gibbs said on Off Radio, like, I hate to be on a run for smoking an officer. It's like, this year, of all the years to say something like that, it's like, huh, yeah. Bust one if your blood's still pumping. Bust 2 shots if you're really about something. 3 little pigs and they can't do nothing. For the last time, you can't run. You just a body for the pal. And you should probably take your last breath right about now. just it's heartless. It's eerie. It's fitting. It's like, for a group like Clipping, it's not necessarily shocking. Like, they don't shy away from saying things that could be conceived as controversial, but I don't think they're trying to be controversial. They're just saying things that they feel. Like last year was no Blood of the Fang was no exception. Now the next track, Enlacing. I said about this track in a tweet that, if I can find it actually, because it wasn't that long ago. Hold on. Yeah, I said that this track makes me want to see Clipping collab with Sadistic or Clams Casino, Jesu or Jesu, River Tiber, and DJ Shadow. And it's not rave music like at all, but it is what I'd expect rave music to sound like, just off the name alone. But of course, this is too slow for rave. Rave is totally different from this. But just the name alone, and what I've seen, not personally, but what I've seen with rave parties online, is like, with how the people are moving around, like, they're all slow for some reason, and the lighting it's got this haze of metallic pink and purple, and then it gets the haze gets to a fading color. So music like this would seem fitting, but that's not what rave music is at all. I typed in rave music and I was like, oh, so this is like Martin Garrix and artists like that. But yeah, the next track, Secret Peace. Actually, is this the last track? Hold on, because this is actually the last track. Okay. Something I could honestly, with a track like this, it's just something I could see Danzig creating. I definitely prefer this outro over Piano Burning. That was like, what, 18 minutes long? Which I did not get that track, which I'm not upset about at all. I did not get that track on the cassette version that I ordered. I ordered the cassette version of this. I'll go ahead and let you know that right now. Yeah, man. Definitely prefer this outro over Piano Burning. Piano Burning was fine. I mean, it was just a piano burning, and I like the sound of things burning. I'm not an arsonist, but I'm just saying I like the sound of things burning. Like, like if you're at a fireplace and you can hear the crackling of the wood, like things like that it's very warm and rich and inviting. It's just nice. It's soothing. I'm not an arsonist. Do not take it to mean when I say I like the sound of things burning to mean I'm an arsonist. I like the sound of certain things burning. But yeah, to summarize this album, it's just a great part 2 / follow-up to There Existed an Addiction to Blood. I still prefer There Existed to Blood, but there are some elements or some songs that I prefer over There Existed, for sure. I gave There Existed a 7.75. Looking back, if I had to re-update it, it'd be an 8. This for me would be a 7.5 to a 7.75. Clipping, they've just done it again. Like, I did also tweet that this would probably grow on me, like it would take some time, like There Existed did. It actually didn't, because it took me like a week and a half or two to really get into There Existed. This took 2 or 3 days, which I guess it would, because it's the follow up. It's like the part two, so I've already got an ear for this sound anyway, given last year and having some familiarity with clipping in the first place. So I guess it wouldn't take me as long. Now, so yeah, 7.5 to 7.75, and I did say that this probably wouldn't. I said that this probably wouldn't make my top three. As I keep listening to it, who knows? Maybe it will. I said I don't. It'll take some time for it to grow on me, like There Existed did, but I don't know if it'll make my top three. Well, it grew on me, or I got it way quicker than I did There Existed, so maybe it will be my top three. We'll see. It's certainly fitting for this time of the year. I mean, it is fucking Halloween, so yeah, let me know what you think about this project in the comment section below, and what you think about my review on it. And if you haven't heard this project, I definitely recommend that you check it out, especially if you heard There Existed last year and you liked that. Dang, I got an email right while I'm recording. Shit. And y'all heard that. Sorry about that. But anyway, like I said, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, check this out, and then come back and let me know what you think about it and what you think about my review. Check the description. My social medias and everything else are down there. That's pretty much it. Thank y'all for watching, and I will see y'all next time.